Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Stars, Stripes, and Sanatani's podcast run by Teens for Teens. This podcast is run by the High School Division of Hindu Students Council, which is a representative organization for Hindu American teens. And today on this podcast, I am here, Arushi. You may recognize me. And we have Bhuvnesh here as well. And we also have a new host, Niranjan. Niranjan, do you want to introduce yourself?
Thanks, Archie. Hi, everyone. My name is Naranjan. This is my first podcast on here, and I'd just like to say thank you for inviting me.
Very cool to have you in Naranja. Anyway, we're going to start off with our introducing our topic. We're going to talk about the commencement. The Hindu commencement this year was conducted by Hindu Students Council at a national scale. The graduating class of 2021, whether it be from high school, college, or postgraduate studies, were honored in this event. And there was a commencement speech given as the sort of hallmark of the event by Swati Mohan ji. And I would like for us to first discuss that commencement speech. So, Arushi, what did you think about the Swati Mohan's commencement speech?
I think Swati, usually when you hear, graduation commencement speeches, right? I think there's a notable difference between what her speech was and what you would expect because she really was very direct and very unapologetic about her experiences and struggles as a Hindu American girl in America. And I think her speech is was truly inspiring. And I don't just say that as, oh, yay, she told us to make a change and she told us to go get it and yes, I'm so inspired. I mean, like she was vulnerable in a way where she was saying that your achievements in the academic and professional world are not separate from your confidence and your passion for your own identity. And you can do both at the same time. Look at me, you can do the same thing. And I think that was a very, very important thing to have in this commencement because, what's the point of this, right? Everyone is already graduating from their schools. The point of this commencement is to bring all Hindu American students together, all Hindu students together across the world as well, because this commencement was organized by a variety of Hindu student groups in order to commemorate and congratulate Hindu student successes, right? So both their academic successes and of course their identity as well. And she blended that together very well in her speech and I really like that. Niranjan, what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree that she was really able to relate with the entire audience because I remember her talking about her experience with the bindi, and there have been so many times in my life, and I'm sure both of your lives, where um, such experiences have happened where you feel like you have to sacrifice your own religion to fit in, and she really made the entirety of the commencement really comfortable for everyone, and I think it was really a proper send off, and it gave all of the students such a valuable lesson that you don't have to sacrifice any part of yourself to show who you are. And I remember, Arushi, you said something about your experience with the bindi.
Yeah, I think because with the bindi I realized that not many people would wear it per se. And sometimes you feel like a bit, I guess, like you're like profiled in a certain way, right? Like, oh, if you wear a bindi, you must be this very traditional, you must be very uptight, etc., etc. Like, it's seen more as a thing like, oh, my mom made me wear it rather than, hey, I should be proud of it. So, just seeing the fact that girls who feel pressured to not wear the bindi or are struggling between what it symbolizes can see someone just so casually and confidently wear it every day to work, every day to that space, every day to NASA. That was very, very, very nice to see. And I know that, I think in quarantine, since it's easier to start things that are hard when no one is looking, obviously, I started to, wear the bindi every day as quarantine started. And I really think that Swati Mohan can provide that extra inspiration to have more Hindu girls see that there is no stereotype attached to the bindi, and there should be no stereotype attached to the bindi. Wearing a bindi does not mean you must act a certain way. It means you're free to be Hindu however you want, and you can own that. It does not matter how you present yourself, because there's many ways to practice dharma, and that does not have to clash with your, being in the diaspora. They can mutually coexist.
I
Okay,
just like
I
the
read.
fact that Swati Mohan sort of like talked super personally and super like this is something that you all can relate to because I was in your position once. And so a lot of people say that and then go on to say these sort of big things like, hey, you're going to change the world. You're going to make a difference in society, right? But she really just talked about personal passions and what that means. And I think that that's something that is seldom talked about at these commencement speeches. And I like the fact that she was very open and honest with her experiences about being wanting to be a pediatrician and then getting out of that and then wanting to be a physicist and then going into that and then seeing how her Hindu identity sort of helped her through that. And so, yeah, I think that it's very practical advice given by a very higher up speaker. And I think for that reason, the commencement speech was a resounding success. So, Niranjan, I know you and I were talking about this a little bit before. Would you like to sort of talk about some of the intervening events, specifically the dances that were performed at the commencement?
Yeah, I think it was Natya. It was a Natya dance at the very beginning of the commencement when everyone was waiting. I thought that was particularly cool because I think it was one or two dancers that were portraying an entire story of. I think Arshu can speak more about this, but it was a very beautiful story, and there was a lot of effects and a lot of camera work, I would say, that was being done to make it seem like it was like an actual dance. It wasn't just one or two people. You could see like they had to dance to every specific like part of the dance. So it seemed like there was maybe 9 different screens on your computer, when in reality it was one person doing all 9 of those dances, recording them, and then putting them all together in that one like segment. So yeah, I thought that was particularly cool. And then also there was a dance in the right after, I think it was uh, Swati Mohan's segment, where it was from Rutgers, I'm pretty sure. Their dance team, they did an amazing job as well.
Uh, to the first dance you're talking about, actually, as I was looking at it, I couldn't figure out whether it was 9 dancers or 4 dancers or 2 dancers, because the effect that it made was just so cool. So I think they were enacting the story of Brave, which is, a Disney movie. And I just thought it was so cool how the exact same story was given with a Hindu touch. And I really feel like that artistically just really kind of showed our identity, right, as Hindus in the diaspora, especially as Hindu Americans, because obviously everything you do is in America, it's American. But if you're brought up with Hindu culture, it's still through a Hindu perspective, right? They coexist, they blend. And I think that dance captured that so beautifully. And having that as kind of one of the main dances at the commencement was a very big statement to that identity that we have.
Yeah,
And now
UMD
that we're
Moksha and
talking,
RU Nadia did a very good job with respect to like the dances. I totally agree with everything you all said about creating a unique Hindu American identity. I think that's very important for the class of 2021. Even though that the graduates, I believe, were literally from anywhere, but I think that since it was a Hindu American organization conducting it, that sort of flair was necessary, and it was also very well conducted.
okay, so I think we have, been kind of fangirling over Swati Mohan's speech quite a bit. I think there was a lot of other interesting parts of the commencement, and I kind of want to give a shout out to Samyukta Ramanan, who did a wonderful Sanskritam speech in Sanskritam, in Sanskrit, in order to send off the class of 2021. And first of all, I have to say I'm very proud of you, Samyukta, for doing such a big and nice speech in Sanskritam. I could never. And I think it was just really nice to see Sanskritam being normalized as someone that people of all ages anywhere can learn and speak in. And it should not be relegated to, oh, it's of the past. It's, hey, we're using it now, we're using it, and we can use it, and we can speak in it. So that's kind of what I got from that. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I definitely see how it was normal because it seemed like she was just talking to everyone like normally, but in a different language, right? And she was just trying to give them some advice, like I'm pretty sure it was that you can have these riches and wealth and blessings and things like that, but that's not the biggest thing in life. And then that like completely related to what Swati was saying with following your passion, right? And so I think it really like it intertwined really well with everything that was going on with the commencement.
Yeah, I totally agree. I also wanted to sort of shout out Samyukta. You were talking about that before, uh, and I think that that Sanskritam speech was delivered very excellently. I think that it touched upon a lot of topics that were really necessary to touch upon, um, such as like the value, the inherent value of a human being, right, as seen by Hinduism. I really think that that's like some next level talent right there with the fluency and diction of the Sanskritam present. Um, I particularly enjoyed the fact that you could read the subtitles and we weren't expected to know Sanskritam, and that was cool. But in general, I did really enjoy that.
So, since we're on the topic of normalizing these Hindu things on campuses and in our student life, I also thought it was very, very nice to have Amar Shah, the Hindu champlain. I believe he's from Northwestern University. Be there at the speech, be at not the speech at commencement, because I feel like sometimes people are like, oh, a religious leader in a college, they're just kind of there. But I think we don't realize how much it's important to have a leader who's openly Hindu, openly advocates for being Hindu as well, not just kind of exists. Why that's so important for kids and for students who are looking for that home away from home kind of thing, right? Like obviously you want to go to college and you want to, be your own person, which you should be. But you also but some people may also want that that community, finding that community of other Hindus to meet diverse people and relate over their experiences growing up. And I really think that having him there as a speaker was really nice because it also shows us a position of leadership that some of us could take up in the future in college, right? Because education is not only about learning, it's about facilitating that for others and learning from that experience as well. So I really like that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Hindu chaplains are super important, and that's something any Hindu teen can sort of consider doing in the future. Um, it's actually something very important, I think, because on college campuses, there's a lot of unbounded missionaries and a lot of unbounded and rather toxic interfaith discussions all around. And I think that having a Hindu voice there to sort of be the central authority at any given college would sort of help that a lot. And it's something that the class of 2021 and us, the class of 2022, should sort of aspire to fix. And with
Yeah,
that,
representing. Sorry, go ahead.
we are going to be ending our episode for today. Thank you, everybody, for watching or listening or yeah, whatever verb you're doing. Um, and we will see you all with the next episode.
don't forget, if you'd like to watch the commencement, you can always do that on the HSC YouTube channel. Yeah.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll catch you next week.